Peggy 18.
Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel presents. Good morning, good day, good evening to whomever is watching this episode of Stardew Valley 1.4 here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. Well, today we have a bunch of stuff I need to do. So let's talk about it. Today is the Saturday the 13th, which means it's Alex's birthday. Also, I see that my first melons are here done. I am able to sell some of this pickled stuff. Potentially, artisanal items are also a good gift for Alex as well, so keep that in mind. But what I will probably give Alex is just a regular egg. And if my chickens were busy, well, there should be a bunch of eggs. Now, lucky enough for me, today at least it's raining, so I don't have to bother with watering all of my crops. And well, since we are kind of approaching the middle of the summer season, I'm gonna have to work on at least getting the sprinklers for all these crops over here. Obviously, I have now some sort of idea on how to plan out the crops and animals for the farm. However, in order for me to get there, I would really rather first get the sprinklers so that I don't have to spend my entire mornings watering everything and cutting out ton of footage from the episode so that, well, it's kind of more fluent. Anyhow, what I've determined to do, hold on, let's just take a look at one thing. Summer bundle. Okay, so I need to drop off a melon, but also I'm looking for, yep, so I'm gonna need to keep the gold star quality melon. Alrighty, so today, Alex's birthday, which means I can load up only so many eggs into the mayonnaise machines. I'm gonna have to keep one in order to give him. Alrighty. What else can I do here? Well, potentially I can turn the 2 melons into melon jello. I can sell these 2 melons. These I can potentially keep for artisanal usage, or I just rather sell this, keep... Okay, how do I do this? Yeah, I'm gonna keep these. I'm gonna sell the silver quality ones. I'm gonna sell... this much, so that I have 20 blueberries, which I can then keep for preserve jars. The hops I'm gonna keep because selling the crops on their own is just a terrible waste. It's much more better for you to turn this into the pale ale, so I'm gonna definitely do that. The forageables I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna drop off the other stuff. And we're gonna go on with our day. Now, the next building which I would love to get for the farm is barn, so that I can get my 4 cows. This will be an important thing for me because I will then be able to put in more animal products, and also I will be able to start making cheese. So that is also good. Now, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do? Drop off whatever I can. Actually, I can make a sprinkler. So I'm definitely gonna do that. Just so that I have it prepared for tomorrow. Because remember, if you plant it on the morning of said day, unfortunately, that will not activate the sprinkler. It needs to be put in its place a day before. Okay, what else? What else? These can be dropped off here. These I can keep on my person for now. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to make another chest. It looks like it. I can put out the charcoal kiln for now. I'm not gonna be using it just because of the fact that I require a lot of wood and a lot of stone in order to construct that barn. But let's see. 48 iron and maple syrup. Do we have 2 maple syrup? Yes. And 2 iron bars. So I'm actually able to construct 2 bee houses. Now this might not look like an amazing investment, just especially due to the fact that I don't even have anything from the flowers that would flavor the honey, but then again, if you get a decent amount of honey, and no, I'm not talking about the honey that every damn commercial now on YouTube is all about. I'm talking about the one which is produced by bees. Well, you will have one amazing thing happen to you. Okay, I don't know why in the world do I keep these two. Okay, let's sell those for some profit. Let's put away this. I can put away you two. Egg is for Alex. Wood can be stored here. Yeah. Yeah, I know so far the episode is kind of me just mumbling about nonsense, but come on, this is not your professional walkthroughs, people. Okay, anyhow, there is a topic that I really wanted to discuss, as I was really disappointed about this while I was testing out the 1.4 update for the game. And actually, I did check this before I recorded this footage, and I still had the same outcome. The thing which I want to talk about is, unfortunately, tea. Specifically, the tea which has been implemented by 1.4 update for Stardew Valley. Now, if you look up tea on the wiki page, it will tell you that it grows a certain amount of days, and furthermore, that it produces the tea leaves only during the last week of each season. Of course, winter excluded, because nothing grows during winter. Now, usually what players here can do in order to bypass the setting for these crops is to utilize the greenhouse. The greenhouse is sort of like the savior of any player who wants to get his hands on crops out of a specific season. Why is that? Well, it is due to the fact that the greenhouse keeps the crops in a controlled environment, and therefore they are not affected by the outside conditions. This is why I've lately started to plant the fruit trees only inside of the greenhouse. I never plant them outside. Only trees which I now plant outside, and especially out of my farm, are the oaks and maples. I barely use the pine tar, only if I require to construct something like a loom, but I usually don't go that heavy into purchasing sheep. And you can actually acquire the artisanal item, which is the piece of cloth, if you recycle the soggy newspaper when you utilize the crab pots and it's inside of them. So the use of the pine tars is fairly limited to me, and I more require the oak resin or the maple syrup for either the keg or the bee house. Now, the thing which I am extremely disappointed about when it comes to tea itself is the fact that it's still affected by the date. So what I did was actually try to plant the tea from the tree sapling into both my house and inside of the greenhouse. Because when you reach a certain day, Granny comes around. I totally forgot her name. Evelyn. Evelyn comes around and gives you the recipe for the planting pot. Or what's it called? So basically, you can construct this recipe, put inside the sapling, and start growing whatever you might require. Which is amazing, because you are not restricted by the fact that you have limited amount of space, let's say, inside of the greenhouse. You can utilize the corners or the edges of the greenhouse for you to grow additional crops. Let's take a look at the sturgeon. So far he's doing fine. It will take some time before he will put in his request. So let's keep on going. Let's check out the mushrooms. Mushrooms are still being done. So yeah, overall, the tea itself, well, it's starting to look like it's more for the completionist rather than for actual use. Especially now that you have the possibility to use something like the triple shot espresso, which in my eyes is now an irreplaceable piece of artisanal item that I cannot imagine my walkthroughs without. Honestly, you get an extremely long effect of +1 speed, and that is just priceless in my point of view, because I don't even have to utilize the horse now. Sure, if you construct your stable and you have your horse and you utilize the effect of coffee, now you have plus speed from horse and also the effect of the coffee. But I mean, if you just have an extremely long effect from the coffee, and whenever you use, for example, the minecarts to travel across the farm or the entire Stardew Valley, the horse usually stays somewhere and you need to return to him. So that makes it less effective in my point of view, and therefore the triple shot espresso is now much more valuable thing. Now, why I am disappointed in the effects of tea and the fact that even if you plant it inside of the greenhouse, it will not produce any tea leaves during the entire season. Well, the effect of it raising your overall energy level might come in handy more in the start of your adventure. Imagine you become a good friends with Caroline by giving her gifts, or not forgetting her birthday like I usually do, and boom, you get the access into her new room. You can, for example, get the tree sapling, you can plant it on your farm. Now, the unfortunate thing is that the tea sapling will basically work like your hop starter. It's blocking your pathway, right? So you cannot utilize it properly in order to get from point A to point B. And the fact that it only produces you a tea leaf for the last week is also inefficient, especially, like I said in one of the previous episodes, when you are growing, for example, the tea sapling, it manages to mature in the last 2 days of the last week for a specific season, which means you will only get 2 tea leaves. So overall, once you put it into the keg and turn it into actual tea, well, you did not get any benefit out of it. And honestly, that's kind of disappointing. And the matter of the fact that even the greenhouse cannot affect the tea, even if you put it into the planting pot, or even if you put it into the ground of the greenhouse, or inside of your own house, where you can grow these things, it actually turns the tea into, well, it's more of a novelty now than something that you would want to invest heavily into. Sure, it might look really nice on your farm when you do some really amazing layout, but other than that, I actually do not see any purpose for you to grow the tea then, which makes it such a terrible, terrible waste. Considering the fact that while I do these episodes and I talk about some of these topics, while I'm also editing the footage, I think about some other stuff for potential discussions during the videos. Like, for example, at one time I came across the thought of what would happen if you would fill out the entire greenhouse with mixed seeds? Well, actually, I decided to look it up, and someone has already covered the topic. Now, the interesting thing to me was that despite the fact that he planted the entire greenhouse full of mixed seeds, they were still affected by the outside season. Meaning, if he did it in spring, from the mixed seeds, you got all the crops which you can achieve during spring. If he did it in summer, it was for the summer crops. If he did it in the fall season, same thing. Now the logical question is, what would possibly happen if you do this during winter when nothing actually grows outside? And I don't think that topic has been covered on that episode of that video, and no, I am not gonna link the video in my video because it's from a different creator and he gets a lot of views anyhow, and I just realized I've been eating green algae, which I kind of will need for the purposes of making more fish ponds. So how about I don't do that? Let's see if there is anything more forageable. But yeah, like I said, kind of really disappointed that the tea is still affected by the outside or the overall calendar of the game. It's total shame because, well, the more you think about it, the weirder it gets, considering the fact that if you plant, for example, the fruit trees inside of the greenhouse, they don't care, they just keep producing. Sure, the tea will produce during the winter's last week 7 leaves for you, but that's only 7 leaves. Why in the world can't it produce every damn day something? I know, it's not the most valuable crop, but the fact that it's actually being affected by also the calendar outside and also the seasons, that just too many negatives for me to consider it growing it on my farm. Sure, I'm gonna show you the tea eventually on my farm somewhere, hopefully, but I'm not gonna be totally crazy about it, and if I don't time it correctly, well, it's gonna bite me in the ass, especially due to the fact that I'm gonna miss out on the harvests, and, well, then the entire purpose of growing the damn tree or the tea is completely pointless. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed. Maybe by the time this episode will be published, who knows, there will be another update for Stardew Valley, and maybe this will be changed. I do hope so, because, well, of course, some YouTubers, for example, from the UK, who might be heavy into drinking tea or complaining about the fact that how is it possible that Stardew Valley did not have tree sapling before 1.4 version, and I can think of you actually. Well, it's the effect is not there, and considering the fact that you have so many crops already, and there's always room to put in even more crops, kind of makes it a shame for me that the tea has not been more utilized. And I'm thinking specifically due to the fact that, like in one of my previous episodes where I discussed the potential to utilize already the in-game ingredients into a more valuable commodity, like for example cans of tuna or creating sandwiches or something else. Imagine that you would make, for example, tea. You are also producing milk on your farm, and you would be able to, for example, make tea with milk or something else, you know? Enhance the already existing recipe by using what's already available to you with the items in the game. And I know Stardew Valley is special in the fact that if you have certain item, and I need to rush home because it's super late now, what usually happens is that, I don't know, for example, you have to mix kale and the amaranth or something else in order to create a really authentic recipe from it. Well, that's really nice, but other than that, it's totally killing the purpose of you growing the specific crop. Because other than for that specific artisanal purpose, there's no other benefit for you to bother with that crop. And now I feel like actually it looks like, well, tea belongs to that category from my point of view, which is really disappointing considering the fact that I do believe there can be more potential for the crop. So I would really like to hear your feedback on this, specifically on the comment section, and if you were able to find out more or you had potentially different effect for tea during your playthrough. Who knows? Maybe there has been an actual update which has changed the game, and now what I told you in this episode is totally outdated. But without you guys telling me that, I will not find out. So, if you are watching this episode, for which I am of course thankful, please leave it in the comment section. It really helps me to come up with more fun content for the episodes here on the channel. So yeah, that would be the topic of the tea for 1.4 update. Let's now go to bed. We have leveled up the foraging, and now I actually have the tree fertilizer recipe. That's awesome, because this thing I also wanted to talk about a bit. So let's take a look at the overall income. Melons are always good, blueberries my favorite thing, mayo is great, pickled goods, I cannot complain. Even foraging is great, and some fishing. Now the fun thing is I actually don't recall if there is anything special happening today. And the fun thing is that I actually looked at the calendar in the previous day. So, hee haha. Anyhow, let's take a look at what's the luck. It's a good luck, and today we will learn another recipe, specifically pancakes. Awesome. Now, all I need to do is get my hands on bigger house. And here we have a request from Pam for pale ale. which I don't mind because, well, I'm growing hops, so there should be not an issue with that. Spiceberry jelly will not earn me that much money compared to, for example, the pickled cauliflower or something else, but it's still a good thing to get your hands on. By the looks of it, I'm actually missing acorns. That stinks. I was hoping to create some delicious field snacks. Oh well. My loss. Now, I unfortunately do not have enough stone to get my hands on the barn. So what I might do here is water all the crops and then head into the mine since it's a lucky day and see if I can get my hands on the remaining stone so that I can put in an order for Robin to construct the barn so that I can get my hands on the cows. And that would be definitely beneficial for my in-game economy, as cheese is another artisanal item which sells good and goes on lots of recipes. Like, for example, the cheesy cauliflower and all the other funky stuff. So I'll water this and we will talk real soon. Okay, and we are finally done. Now, what I will need to do today is, of course, go check on my lovely chickens here. They are now hiding all over this massive place. And I'm so glad they enjoy it. And apparently, it agrees with them because I am getting nothing but large eggs. Which is just awesome. The fact why it's awesome is that it can potentially create the gold star quality mayonnaise which sells for a higher price, and right now I totally need that. So what else do I need to do today? Well, today is Sunday, which means the traveling merchant is down in the forest, so I definitely need to go and see her merchandise. What else should I do? Well, the only other thing which comes to my mind is going to see Pierre and purchasing melon seeds. Now, in one of my previous episodes, I discussed the fact that in the start of the game, it's more valuable for you as a player to first invest into fertilizer and, for example, in your year 2, roll over into the speed grow. The reason why you actually want to get your hands on the fertilizer in year 1 is A, you are fulfilling all the bundles, unless you're going with the Joja Corp, of course. But also, if you are going with the Joja Corp, you will require money. If you get your hands on higher quality crops, it has better selling value. And of course, in the start of the game, considering, for example, spring season, if you utilize fertilizer for cauliflower, because it's the best selling produce, if you utilize speed grow, your chances are that you can get few more harvests, but you will most likely get your hands only on the base quality cauliflower, which has a certain selling price until you reach level 5 of farming, when you can choose the 10% boost on selling price for cauliflower and all the other crops, unless you're going with the pathway for the animal produce. But anyhow, once you, however, are in year 2, you should have certain amount of kegs, certain amount of preserve jars, certain amount of beehives, which should all allow you to produce artisanal items. These items sell for better price, and therefore you are not forced to basically depend upon the quality of the crops, but rather into the quantity. For example, in my testing file for Stardew Valley 1.4, what I actually tend to do is that I go and purchase a lot of star fruit, and I only utilize speed grow for them, because I always turn the star fruit into more seeds or wine or jello if I'm desperate and I don't have enough kegs available for me to produce an artisanal item. Now here I actually can purchase a rare seed, so I'm gonna do that. What the oh, come on, I just accidentally clicked on the damn tulip. Okay, well, this is going on the internet, so that's gonna be awesome. And it's gonna make me look like a complete idiot once again. Oh, boy. Oh, anyhow. What in the world was I talking about just now? Yeah, rolling from fertilizer into speed grow. So what usually happens is, and why I usually go for something like speed grow instead of the fertilizer, and using this, for example, for crops like rhubarb, starfruit, melons, cauliflowers, etc., etc. A, I get more harvests. B, I don't sell the actual crops. I always turn them into an artisanal item, which means I either pickle them, or I turn them into juice or wine. And trust me, you want to get your hands on some good quality stuff. And this is a little slap on the wallet, but yeah, it's an unnecessary evil in order for me to succeed. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I will be able to reach Robin by 5 PM and put in the order for the barn. The reason why is A, I don't have on my person all the wood which I picked up. B, I don't have all the stone which I require. And I believe it's like 300 wood and 150 stone. So yeah, maybe on the next episode I will put in the order for that, and I will still have some sort of financial support, as it costs 6,000 gold in order for you to construct the original or the basic barn. Now, why I am trying to actually fish over here during the time when there is the high tide, when all these forageable goodies are washed up onto the beaches here at Stardew Valley, is because of this specifically. What I have noticed in my testing file throughout 2 seasons of summer is that during these special days when this event takes its place, while I was trying to catch fish from this small bridge over here, I had over 20% higher chance to actually run into seaweed compared to actual fish if I was casting really close to either the pier or this bridge. But on this bridge specifically, I usually have the best results, which is why I usually tend to come back here. So in case you don't like fishing in Stardew Valley, I do apologize, but it's kind of a unnecessary evil in order for me to try and, well, get my hands on more seaweed, because of course, I require 150 stone for the barn, but also I will require 200 stone for another fish pond, and that will take some time. Especially if I don't have the stone, or I will utilize all my reserves of stone for the purposes of creating the barn instead of the fish ponds. Okay, so we are running super low on energy here. Robin is sketching for her next statue here. Man, I envy the talented people I always wanted to draw or be able to draw, and for someone else to take a look at it and be like, hey, that looks exactly like something. Usually people just, yeah, I don't even show whatever the heck it is that I'm trying to draw. Wow. And once again, Gus is throwing away food. Let's see what's the request. Red mullet. Linus. How in the world is Linus able to afford this? But anyhow, I have the red mullet, so let's go give a visit to our dear friend. And since I'm up there, I might already head into the damn mines, because the time is running out. And I kind of do need to get my hands on some constructional material. So stone and some iron would be nice. Here you go. Now I wonder how in the world is it possible, my dear friend, that you do have 225 gold, yet you live in the tent here by the lake. Why is that? At certain times, this game just fascinates the heck out of me. Anyhow, I kind of noticed the issue or the fault of my current decision to go down here with the fairly limited amount of energy that I have. I should have gone to the damn bathhouse before I came here. But considering the fact that I actually just want to get my hands on some stone, I'm not that much in a rush. The problem here is that not every rock which you break will guarantee you a stone. So sure, having some bombs would be beneficial to me, and I kind of wonder why on a lucky day I'm running into this many bats. But then again, look, I just picked up a bomb. I'm gonna eat some of the fish. And the cool thing here is that I'm actually getting the crafting materials for more lightning rods, as I will actually require the bat wings, and thanks to the fact that utilizing the lightning rods as a fence for the animals will ensure that it will not decay, and also whenever it's stormy outside you will get your hands on more batteries. Well, I'm not gonna say no. That is at least until the moment when I get swarmed by all the bats, then I'm gonna start complaining. And in case you've never watched any of my videos, I complain about a lot of things. I think Slipknot made a song about me. It's called The Negative One. It's a really nice tune. You should give a listen to it. Unless you're into stuff like Barbra Streisand or Cher or something else, then it's definitely not your cup of tea. Haha, get it? Because I've been complaining about the tea. Anyhow, will I potentially manage to get to level 64 here? Yes? Maybe I will even reach 65. Well, I'm not that optimistic anymore. This is like my last source of energy. Really don't want to be utilizing the seaweed, honestly. I have 46 energy left. These levels can be a bit tricky because you never are guaranteed where the damn stair to the lower level might be located at. And this slime is really getting on my nerves. At least I'm gonna leave this place with some frozen geodes and some iron in my pocket. Seriously, I'm terrible at planning this stuff. I have 8 energy. If I eat... yeah... I'm gonna actually do this. I'm gonna sacrifice 2 seaweed in order to try and get my hands on level 65. Potentially hoping I only had to sacrifice 1 seaweed. Still have 9 energy left. Breaking apart the ice shards will not give you a ladder, unfortunately. Ooh, there are actually crates. So you know what? The good idea here, what to do, is to go break them apart. Because if there would be some cave carrots inside, I can actually eat those instead of the seaweed. Oh, damn it. That I did screw up there. Swinging the sword does not consume energy. So let's just get rid of this guy over here. Come on. I need some cave carrots. Okay. Well. The 2 seaweed that I came across, I had to consume. And if there won't be a freaking ladder here, I'm gonna get super angry. Wanna drop some food? Come on. Come on! Come on! Do I really have to leave? Oh, man. This is horrible. Especially due to the fact that... yeah, I'm gonna have to repeat the 4 levels all over again in order to get lower. And I would really hate to be exhausted and try to get back home while I'm slow. What the? Thank you! Thank you! Move aside! Wow! Okay. Now, I don't know if this game is messing with me, but I've never seen that happen. I mean, usually if the sprite dusts break apart something, it's rock. And you will find like a rock or piece of iron or coal there. Never have I seen this, so... wow, okay. If YouTube would allow me to make a GIF into the thumbnail for the episode, this would definitely be the goddamn thumbnail for this episode. Anyhow, I still have some time, so I can potentially go and take a look at the mushrooms. And if I will manage to pull that off, then I will have something else to also put into the collection bin, or just keep it for the next episode when I will sell it with all the mayonnaise too. But anyhow, this was a fun episode where I complained once again about a ton of stuff which I don't like or are disappointed about the game. Man, if I would be a mod creator, I would just go crazy with this game, but then again, I usually play the games vanilla, so why in the world am I complaining? Anyhow, I would like to thank you for watching this episode of Stardew Valley, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Remember, I publish videos on my channel 5 days a week, so you will have always something to watch. That is, unless YouTube will somehow screw up my uploads once again, and the episodes will manifest during God knows what days, because it happened to me a few times already now. So in case you were missing an episode, in case you have subscribed, well, it's YouTube's fault, not mine. Anyhow, thank you very much for your attention, wish you all the best, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.